Is this font large enough for people to see, or should I try to make it a little bit larger? I'm going to assume it's okay. Some of the comments that are in here are going to help you, because it's the idea that you need to add your own comments. I believe that when you're doing this, these concepts are weird enough that you need to put it into your own language. And I've tried to explain this to different people, and they go, now I don't quite get the combination. And that's the key. It's like a chess game. All of these pieces, when put together right, work. And in networking, one of the biggest frustrations, no matter how good you get at it, is that when things fail, there's no evidence. Now, one question just came up from Clarkey that I will answer at this point because it is an important concept. When you use TCP, you ask the operating system to open a TCP port, and then you immediately try to connect to a destination, which is an IP address and a port number, and there should be a program there that's listening. If it's not, you have failed to open a connection. If it is, that entity on the other end, which in our case is going to be a Livecode handler, as it's listening, echoes back, hey, I'm ready to receive any data packet you're going to send. So there you've established a connection which is point to point. In UDP, we don't care. That computer doesn't even have to exist. We'll still be able to send it out, and it just disappears into a routing farm somewhere that sort of makes sense. But there's nothing that comes back unless the other program that you're connecting to decides to send you something back. So there's no requirement in UDP other than your own operating system opens a port to the outside world and your message goes. So as long as your operating system isn't overloaded with port work to do, and that does happen, and I'll tell you one quick story right now because it caught me. We had a network of about 9 computers. One particular computer, for some unknown reason, would work just fine for about 3.5 hours, having messages go out, UDP, going, and it just nice timing, and then it would stop. There is no evidence of it until you went in to check going, well, this should be sending data, but it's not going, and why not? What we found out was, once you got up to a certain number of port number openings, the operating system just quit doing it. We could never find out why, and it was the only computer. That one happened to be Windows XP, but we had several other Windows XP computers that just went right along. So sometimes with this question, client-server setup, UDP doesn't require something on the other end. It does require a specific destination. So it's not like a radio broadcast that says however many people are listening to the radio. All this says is I will broadcast, and broadcast is really kind of the term you might use, but it's more correct as I will send to an IP address at this port number, and if something is listening, fine. If not, I don't care. I'll send data all day long. So what we're doing now is starting a listening device that would receive those communications. The key would be, and in this case, if people are looking and they want to get this stack, I'm using a global called zdata_append. I start my globals with a small lowercase z, and you don't need to know why, but the idea is data append is a debugging technique that I found valuable because I could go along in different handlers and keep appending the events in the order